Drew, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, welcome back. Do you hear the fan in my office at all? Do you hear any background feedback?
No, I can't hear it.
Good. Okay, thank God. My office is so fucking hot right now. It's not even funny. I have four computers in my office, and they're all cool. I don't have one running over. So I'm like, where's this heat coming from? Somebody turn on the heat?
That's how it is at my house too. I got some fans that kind of get loud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send an invite to the people real quick.
You got it, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here right now and you're listening in, if you're listening after the fact, welcome to the Mad Show. We're going to get started right around 7 minutes after the hour. It's our usual get. We're also simulcast over on YouTube as well as TikTok. You go to our YouTube channel and look for live under the live button. You'll see all of our previous lives. We're in there. We should start calling these like, I don't know. Start calling them like podcasts. Like everybody's like the podcast. Everybody's going to podcast. I don't know. We'll get started here in just a minute. It's good to be back in the Mad Show. I haven't done a Mad Show since Friday of last week. We did a Crypto Shogun show the other day, and this was our theme song called The Long Way. Directly for us. Yeah, it's Crypto Meme. Fire, we need to get you the Shogun PFP. We're going to get started right around 6 minutes. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. Make sure you like and share everything up. Make sure you follow us, of course. Retweet the space, get it out on your profiles. I think we just need somebody who promotes our spaces out all day long. I have to get somebody in the top 20 to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, but now I just don't have time to.
I know, man. We got to get one of our guys to get out there and start doing that. Imagine just going to all these different places, telling them about the space. Whew, what a day. Probably a little bit of a slow start today, and hopefully we'll get some people coming in. Chill out the Mad Show. We're going to be talking about conception, production, and distribution today. I know that sounds boring, but it's a lot of fun, especially when you can sell the sizzle and put the steak on the plate. We got about 2 more minutes. We're going to get started. Well, Drew, I guess there's only really a couple people here. You ready to get started?
Yep, let's do it.
Hey everybody, it's me, Trader Maxx, here with Drew for the Mad Show here on Friday, September 27th, 2024, and we are joined by some serious people in the room. We appreciate you being here. I'm with Drew, Drew's with me, and we are here with Looming Fire, Crypto Meme, Griffin's Hair, and Amy K1847. Sort of like an in-house show, if you will. But I'm pretty sure other people show up today. The network, what we're going to be talking about today in the topics is conception, production, and distribution. And I'm not talking about Friday Night Date Club. I'm talking about building a multi-million-dollar organization with hard work, determination, and sacrifice. Maybe not in that order, but pretty damn close. So if you're going to come out and show your coin today, I want you to talk about what you've conceived, produced, and distributed over the course of your coin. What's worked, what hasn't worked, all that kind of good stuff. We'll take 3 or 4 minutes to talk about you and your coin. And then we will go on to the next one. Of course, every 3 we'll talk about what we're building. We'll talk about our pre-sale that we have launched off, which we're very excited for, and we can't wait for everything to head up into the next level with our pre-sale. Today being Friday, we have a lot of stuff going on as well. So we didn't promote a tremendous amount for the show for this week, but we do have a lot of stuff happening with Drew and myself and Dick and all the other team members here. We really appreciate everybody that's coming. All right, now let's get started. Drew, my man, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good. Had my morning walk, or two of them already, but
Yeah,
and
no.
coffee.
You and I spent an hour and a half on the phone on that walk. I must have walked 4 miles, dude. Swear to God. Pacing back and forth, going up and down my block. Everybody must think I'm a serial weirdo in my neighborhood, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, like some people hang out outside of their house and they just see me walk by like 5 times a day. They're like, "What's wrong with this guy?"
This dude's casing the joint. He's casing it. All right, so this show is all about conception, production, and distribution. I know that may sound like a snooze fest, but you know what? There's a lot of people out there that don't have that real concept of how to build something from scratch. They just kind of throw something together and put it out there and hope for the best. But we want to be able to talk about some of that today. Now, I know that the show isn't really puffed up right at the moment. We do only have Lumi and Fire. Fire's within our organization. Lumi is there as well. Unless that's somebody else's account under Lumi, if that's not who I think it is. And then we sort of have some of our own team members here as well. We can come out and talk with. But I guess for the sake of prosperity for the show, I guess let's just talk about what's happening in our process, Drew.
Yeah, so I mean, which part of the process?
Boy,
It's
there's
a
so many, isn't there?
well-oiled engine, huge machine.
there's a lot going on. And if you're watching right now, you can be watching over on YouTube. You're watching over on TikTok. We have 11 viewers in TikTok. Welcome. We got some likes going on. I happen a little like farm happening today. We have a couple viewers over on YouTube. So make sure that you hit my profile. Make sure you liked and shared everything on board. If you're watching this after the fact, which I hope you are, make sure that you follow over our PFPs for Shogun and myself, which is Drew is Shogun. Make sure you follow the show, retweet it out there, let other people know to come and listen about some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. This may just be a learning space today, and you may learn some things. You will learn some things. But I guess, Drew, what we can talk about is our pre-sale and what we're doing.
So yeah, with the pre-sale, we launched, what was it,
On Monday.
earlier this week on Monday. And I mean, it's been going pretty well so far. We've got about 56 Solana of the 150 Solana soft cap on pinksale.finance. And I think the reason why we chose to do the pre-sale is not only do we get to start off the project with some funds, because it is very expensive to launch and grow projects, but not only that, but to also start off with some supply in the team as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the other thing too, is that a lot of people forget about is like we're a service-oriented company. We're helping communities build. It's not so much about the coin directly, even though that the coin can help fuel some of the things in the very beginning. The ultimate value of the coin later is just a holding piece of, I would say, legacy or even generational wealth to kind of hold on to that, because our main team members that own the supply, we're in a diamond hands mentality, and it's not just rhetoric. It is a real thing. In order to get rev share from the company, from the network, you have to have a certain amount. You have to have that connection, and have kept the floor. Our supply network has kept the floor. Any member that buys after the fact during the pre-sale, with the pre-sale too, you get 20% more coins than you would if you bought from the actual open of the coin. So if you're in pre-sale, a lot of people don't know this. Pink Sale has some good systems in there. There's a fair launch, there's a pre-sale launch, there's all these other things. I think the biggest benefit for the pre-sale is that you get 20% more than anybody else when it goes out to the main launch. The pros to that is also you kind of beat down the snipers. Nobody can come in and pre-buy before you, and so like drive up the price before you get to it, right? So you're buying at a set price right now. And the good thing is that it's capped out at 10, so you're not going to get these whales unless they have multiple wallets. But I want you to remember one thing as well. 49% of what you purchase when you purchase in the pre-sale goes to the development of all the things that are in there. The other 51% gets burned into the liquidity pool. You are functionally building the liquidity pool when you buy in, and in return for that, I give you 600,000 coins for every soul. You see, so you put in 10, you get 600, you get 6 million coins. Now, if that's a market cap like really, really well, you establish yourself within the company, you establish yourself within the network, you establish us into the network, because now we're building out. We already have a trading bot system on board. We already have a raid system. We still got work to do to kind of figure that out. We had it in beta. We're waiting for our dev to kind of wake up from whatever hole he fell into. You know, this is the trials and tribulations of the crypto market. So we will be releasing that here very shortly. The other is that we have a volume bot in the foundational settings already. We have it priced out. We have it marginalized out. We have it drawn out. We have it put into the foundation. We're going to talk about the conception, production, distribution mentality here as well. And then finally, the big one is that we already have written out the network solution for our Shogun DEX. That's a working title. It's not going to be called Shogun DEX, but it is like, think of like Deck Screener meets a community center. And inside that system, we're going to have so many tools. Like every tool that you have on the outside, you're going to have on the inside of that community, as well as the community owners will get residuals and percentages of every transaction that's done through that site and through that system. And that, my friends, is where the game really begins. Here is just the playground time. We're building relationship, we're building out, but the real power is when we get to that Shogun DEX, and we're looking at about a two-month period of time and build in that network. And so while that's happening, we're building relationship with all of you that have come, that are here to shill out your coins and shill out your networks and all that stuff. Then all the people we've met. We already have 20 partnerships. We're partnered with some pretty big companies, Memezilla, Vote Doge. We're partnered with some pretty big networks that are in there as well. Pojak and other solutional companies out there, other service-oriented, entertainment-valued companies that are there, YouTube and places like that on the way in there. And along with our services, if you go to shoguncrypto.com, pretty soon you're going to see a services page up there that has all of our Panther Pilot tools that are in there, 40 plus tools in there, and they are just incredible to be able to do. So those are a couple of things that we're doing. We're in pre-sale mode at the moment with the coin. So the show's a little weak today, but that's okay because we're here sort of for the recording. We're here for the push out today. And before we begin, I want to tell you what the topic is for today is conception, production, and distribution. And what this means is that you can sit down and think of an idea and then produce it. Let's say if you have an idea for a website and you think, okay, I need the website to be this, this, and this, and you have all the requirements, and you guys sit down and you figure out what's the theme, what's the colors, what's the branding, what's, you know, what the logo looks like, all that stuff, and you have this big party that you think about the conception of like, here's what it is, this is why we're going to build it, this is the theme behind it, and then you get somebody to build it, whether it's yourself or a dev or a team of people, and you all contribute your process, and then you fire it off and distribute it out there to the world. During those times, there's a lot of shit in between. There's a lot of the mortar that happens in there and what you're using to build. And what most people try to build with the materials that they have, they're either broke or they're trying to do it for free or they're trying to build whatever that source is. There is a statement out there, you get what you pay for. Don't overthink the process. Don't oversell it. And don't try to throw it out too early without some backup in there, right? So we're going to kind of talk about the trials and tribulations of each, you know, conceptualization of the coin to the production of it and the distribution of it. Could there be things that you've done better? Of course, there always should be that process. But the things that worked for you and the things that didn't, if you can come out and talk about some of that today. Or you can also meet with us and discuss it in private calls and VCs we're going to be doing as well. We'll probably put some of this stuff out as well. All right, Drew, do we have anybody here? I think Lumi's here. I don't know if anybody else has decided they want to come up and talk.
Yeah, none of the speakers except me and you are showing up, so I don't know who else. But I think Ransom with Lumi, he said that he's in one other space right now. It should be over soon. But if Vote Doge wants to come up and speak, we can have that happen.
Did they I don't even see their thing up there. Invite to speak, maybe.
Yeah, spaces are always hit or miss. But yeah, here's a Doge up here. What's going on?
Oh, hello. Yeah, I'm a little bit late to the show, so sorry I was a little bit busy. But I always love to come to your show just to get to know, what you're doing now, what's new, and just to make sure that I can inform my chat, because we've got people who already that are using your bot. So yeah, I want to be informed about what you're doing. Yeah, so it's very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the big question here is, as you guys are just sort of taking over your network, right?
Yeah.
And the conception of a vote Doge wasn't really in your hands in the very beginning because it was somebody else who made it. But I guess where do you sit at with the concept of, you know, building, building out the ideas that you guys have now? Do you have like a team of people that you sit down with and talk to, and
Yeah.
sort of come up with ideas?
So, we went there in the beginning when Coin was created,
Yeah.
but we sort of gotten on board because we love the idea of the Doge being this kind of crypto leader.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're trying to do now, we've got the cabinet, we call ourselves cabinet. We've got people who are involved. So we are still people who got on board really early in the project. So we are basically original devs. And there are some new people who came on board, 4 new people. And what we're doing now, we are basically trying to develop a little bit this idea, and we want to play a little bit differently. We want to make it bigger. We want to go international. So it's, as you know, there is not only U.S. political, unhappiness around with politicians. There is everywhere now. Each Europe is fighting, there's loads of different opinions and philosophies. So we want to be like kind of light and funny way to bring people to, probably even young people to vote and have some, fun. And there is loads of things we want to do. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be like kind of idea developed from the original idea, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. No, I do. I see that the website is in transition to be, you're remaking the website, right?
Absolutely. We got on board now. We've got all new social media. We are running, as already explained before, the copycat situation. So we've got now real world Doge website, and we're just gonna do things our way now. We're just gonna develop this idea into better. Another website is gonna have much more things now, because as it is, new people came on board, and everybody brings something new and better.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and we also, as you probably know, we got on board Mainflix, Bojack's Mainflix, which we really enjoy at the moment as well. And today we are hoping to premiere our first animation video. So I probably mentioned already because I am on your spaces all the time.
Right. Right.
We've got the Clarence animation ready to go, and it's first of all we're starting with trilogy of US politic. I'm not gonna talk a lot about it because I want people to see it for themselves. It's really beautiful. Clarence is really beautiful, amazing artist. So yeah, that's gonna be out today, and we are planning to have a spaces, our Vodoge first spaces, new Vodoge spaces, where we
Good.
can talk about the video, and ideally maybe you can come and you can talk more about your plans, what you got, because you got really some good things coming.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Absolutely. It all depends on what time and when we can get there. I'll definitely try to be one of us from Shogun. Will probably be, maybe even a few of us. You'll look for the orange headbands and we'll be there.
I know you. I know. I am in your Telegram, so I know. Yeah, we could. We could definitely do it the time that you US people could as well join. So this would be kind of maybe like kind of 1 hour after this space finish. Let's see.
Absolutely. Well, I guess
It's
also,
pleasure always, Max. It's pleasure. Absolutely. I love Shogun. Seriously, it's a pleasure
yeah.
to be here.
Yeah, today's show's a little bit tired because we have we really Dreww and I and a handful of others are the ones that really promote the show, and we've been quiet. We didn't even do a whole big show last week. This week I didn't do one on Monday because we were releasing the coin. We were punching a lot of stuff out at the same time. But there is we're recording this one, and I guess another thing to talk about is that you have the cabinet structure, and do you have it like set up when you're designing stuff, and you have a build team, of course, right? You have somebody who's building the website right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then your distribution is set. Do you have things in mind on how you usually distribute things, or is it just go and build and throw it out there?
Well, we are concentrating at the moment to establish our social media presence.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get new followers, so all our new stuff going out straight away, and we try to sync it together. So we've got all social media coming out same time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, obviously later on we're gonna probably use your Raybot as well, so it can be rewarding people who are getting into raids, and yeah.
Absolutely, that's
So
amazing.
just for that, just so that we are excited about you, what you coming out as well, because you got loads of utilities which could help other projects, like young projects as well, and new developers.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I would
it's
definitely
yeah,
love to see you over in Panther Pilot and getting your groove on over there if you have resources in there. It's an absolutely free resource for everything. So, but again, that's completely up to your cabinet what you guys are building over there. I can completely understand. I guess for me is seeing I always believe have something to tickle the imagination. A coming soon page is okay, but there's always something to put out graphically and in that process. And I'm really glad to see that you've regained your control over your distribution network of your social media. That's very important to have out there. So I'm glad that you're in there and protecting your people and doing well.
yeah, try them out. And you know that we are different. We're doing real world campaigning,
Mm-hmm.
and this is going to feature on our website quite heavily. We're going to have a merch shop, which all profits which from merch shop is going to go into marketing wallet that we can actually give back communities. That's our manifesto basically. After reaching certain market caps, we're going to always reward community, and we're working on that manifesto now. We
Mm-hmm.
just want to improve it, and we want to just make sure that we're going to cover all important issues. And so yeah, that's lots coming.
That's good. That is good. All right.
So
Well,
thank
I
you.
appreciate you being here today. Sorry, a little distracted. We have a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes today.
Thank
My
you.
my power may even go out. I don't know what's going to happen here. I flickered like 3 times, and there's somebody out working on the pole out front. So crazy. Um,
Good
all right,
luck.
thank you so much, Dreww. How's everything going, buddy?
Yeah. So for all the people in here, we're at about 10 people in here now. Please retweet and comment on the space to help us grow our audience and get more eyes on the projects that are in here as well. And yeah, with Vote Doge, what they're doing over there, I think as we get closer and closer to these votes that are going to happen, I think that Vote Doge, like all the coins that have to do something with something to do with politics, are all going to just explode. And we're going to see some of these coins I've seen, for example, like Meet with Press as well. They're
Mm-hmm.
20K market cap. If that can get some volume, and Vote Doge is what, a few hundred K, that could easily shoot to 2-3 million very quickly with the right audience, like being at the right place at the right time with the right marketing. All those things come together, and you're starting to create this platform where you're known in the space. So keep hitting these spaces, keep going out there, and Vote Doge also, they're on Reddit, Instagram, TikTok, all these other platforms too, and that's something that a lot of projects don't do. So
Mm-hmm.
hats off to y'all for getting a larger audience from a bunch of platforms as well.
Yeah, most definitely. I see that as a process. One thing on your front website, though, make sure that you get something over to Deck Screener or wherever you're using if you're just having them trade into the network. Get them into you got them in your Telegram. So awesome, great job. Love the fact that you have them coming into the community to trade, because that's the best way to get that Shogun trading bot on board. So sweet, love it, love to see it happening. Good concept on distribution there as well. All right. Who's under the Lumi moniker?
100%. 100%. We're gonna have the Shogun on our website.
Oh, sweet. Absolutely. Perfect. Loving it. So who's under the Lumi moniker right now?
Yeah, that's Ransom. He's
He's,
yeah, he has
he's
one account is in another space. He's talking, but he should be back in.
he's
But
you know. Hey, as
yeah,
well as if you're watching on YouTube and on TikTok, I was asked on TikTok to show the chart for Vote Doge, and I'm showing it right now. I'm showing a nice little clear double bottom on this process. Now, if most of you know, I'm a technical trader. I've traded forex and other and options and a whole bunch of stuff for more than 20 years. I worked at TradingView. I have a lot of experience in support and resistance price action trading. And everybody knows is that this is a longer term. It's on a 4-hour chart if you're watching the screen. And they have a double bottom sitting at 116K, which is good because what will happen is that, and this is one of the trails, is the first trend that's established after a double bottom or a double top. Okay, this is where two price actions actually hit the same exact level, is where it's going to be going for the next 20 bars. Okay, so on a 4-hour chart, that's like 80 hours, right? So if you're looking at this right now and you're sitting at 141 market cap, at a level of at that 141, you're going to get a bounce back at like 138, and then it's going to continue to go forward. If everything is going solidly, if everybody's in there trading, doing their thing, everybody's rating and everybody's contributing to content and doing all that stuff, the coin's active and there's no major super releases, this should still universally travel in an upward ascending trend from this point. So there's a lot of work that goes into, sustaining this kind of mentality. And this is where I kind of see us being at. I'm going to draw into the chart if you're watching here. And I'll also do a coin read later on today. One of my first coin reads I've done in a little while, because to show where I feel, Vote Doge is going to go over the next 80 hours at this point. Sorry, I got looking at the chart and got that. I hope that was asked by Andrea in perfect. I don't even know if you're still in there, Andrea, but there's the answer for you. Hope you enjoyed it. All right. If anybody's here who has anything to kind of throw in, contribute,
yeah. Look,
talk about.
look. Here comes Lumi. What's
Yay.
up, Ransom?
Hey guys, how's it going? Glad to be here.
You
Actually
look,
here now.
yeah, actually here right now. I was talking to a stuffed animal sitting there for a little while. Dude, you're just proving our point even more. Getting in there, working hard. I appreciate you being in the spaces and shilling us. How did that go for you over there?
Really well, really well. It was actually a super friendly space. A lot of new eyes down there, the listeners and stuff, but like just an incredible amount of like friendly faces in that space. Like basically the whole crew was there. So it was a lot of fun to be there. All of those projects are really cool. I'm pretty familiar with every single one of those project leads and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, there was a really good turnout. So I was happy to be able to shill the pre-sale and shill our suite of products at Shogun. So it went really well.
And I think that's something we should talk about today as well. If anybody who's listening, if nobody else is coming up, we can talk here for a few minutes. I see Space Penguin just came in. The concept behind the pre-sale, is a lot of people are like, well, you don't have the KYC and the audit up there, and I don't really buy into projects. That's okay. I can completely understand. But the reason why we didn't do that is because really Pink Sale uses them to generate heavy capital. They're very expensive. So in some cases, 4 or 5 sold to even get into the position of getting a KYC. And what is a KYC? But you show your ID. They don't even track any of it stuff. They just take pictures of it. They don't do any background checks. They don't do any of that kind of stuff. It's just knowing that. And it's just that one thing alone is crazy. And then the audits, you have to have them done by approved companies that split share and receive referrals from Pink Sale. That they have to be done by those people. The doc system, again, same thing. And does it really make a difference? It could, yes, right? Because that's what they've driven the narrative to be. But for us, it was the pre-sale was for our interior people, the people that we know, our top 20, our top 100, and our top 5 to be able to use it safely, not get sniped out in the process and all that. Now, how the pre-sale works is like, let's say if you bought just one soul is going to get you 600,000 coins. That one soul, how the breakdown comes in is 51% of that soul goes to the liquidity pool. The other 49% of what you buy in goes to the marketing wallet almost immediately from that point. In that case, then you receive in your hand 600 coins, 600,000 coins, which is a pretty good deal. Now, once the market goes live, if somebody were to go and buy one soul worth, they wouldn't get 600, they would get 480. That's roughly around a 20% savings that you're getting on the system. And that's really powerful because you're not getting sniped out. There's no snipers buying before you. The people that own the supply are the top 5 of Shogun that are here, right? That's myself and my 4 partners in there, right? This isn't some bundled wallet kind of catastrophe kind of thing. And secondly, you're getting it to where a point where it'll be extremely stable. At the moment that it launches, there's only a handful of people that would be in there that would actually bring the price down some. That's one if any one of our main holders sold a little, right? Now, the majority of our people, the top 5, are not selling at all on that top level. So anybody who's buying in on that side, our supply is staying solid. It's not going to sell either, right? Even though that we have a large amount, we have about 50% of the supply at that point. The concept there is to build up the narrative, to create a large foundation. We want to own the majority of the supply. The reason being is that the coin is not about the money maker. It's only about helping build out the build wallet so we can build this system for the deck system and all of the bots that we have. We have a couple of bots now. We got about 3 more to deliver and build out, and then we have one super system that we're building out that'll be very powerful. And I don't like to talk about all the conception stuff as build products, and that's something that we're going to be talking about here in a moment as well on the Conception Production Distribution Network. What we get into is that we love to theorize. Here's what we're building, and then somebody just comes out and vomits. We're going to build a tub with a bunch of beer in it, and we're going to build a website that you can put your face in it and it'll draw cartoons on it, or these are all things that you want to build. The conception is the sizzle, right? Never sell the conception. That's the thing. Never sell the conception. Now, I always have this statement that we talk about. Anything that I do talk about what we're building, I have already started in the foundation of what, and when I mean the foundation, we have a huge, and I'm showing it on YouTube right now. There's some of you that can see it. It's a very large program of white paper, right? It's like 40 pages long. And in that 40 pages, behind the scenes as well, is that each one of our systems, from our trade bot, our Telegram trade bot, our raid bot, our volume bot, our decks, our Shogun deck system, all these things have been written out and theorized, but also put down because I have built software. I know what it takes to get to that level. I've built the network solutions. It's all there. And then what kind of generational wealth we can get from that is all been lined out as well. We also lined out our governance system last night as well. Well, we've lined it out the other day, but we had somebody put it into a diagram network for our governance system, which is the top 5, the top 20, and the top 100. When you are conceptualizing building stuff, you got to get the plan written down. It can't just be a group of 5 of you sitting in a room going, "Oh yeah, I think we should let's make a sneaker line. Let's get a store up." It's easier said than done. Always remember that it's easier said than done. Secondly, why you don't sell the sizzle is because if you go out like everybody should buy in because we're going to be building this system, right? I don't want you to buy for what we're building in the future. I want you to buy in for what you feel who we are right now. Right? And always remember that when you're conceptualizing a product or a process or a coin, sell yourself in the now. Don't sell yourself on what you're going to be in the future, because nobody ever knows what's going to happen in the future. I learned that a long time ago in trading. You can guesstimate if it'll go up. You can pre-guesstimate it if it'll go down, but you have a 50-50 shot no matter what. Right? If you become really good at it, you could probably skew it a little. So in conception, never sell the sizzle. Always keep that in mind. Now, to talk about production, always plan for the break. Like each one of these little sections has a little moniker that we kind of go by. Always plan for the break. It's always in beta. Everything you will ever build from this point on should always be considered beta. Even your full production model. It's always in beta to the next stream. Keep that in your hat. Now, I play a video game called Star Citizen. It has been in alpha now for 12 years, and some of you may know who that is. Show some love if you know Star Citizen is, and if you bought some in, I'm probably in a Star Citizen Anonymous kind of trouble with my wife because I have spent a lot of money playing that video game and buying into it. So please don't. My wife already knows that I have a problem with it. I haven't played in a while because I've been building this system out. But the concept for building production systems is that you're always going to have a timeline along that process, and the deadline always will keep you dead. If you're always considering a deadline, okay, we're going to have it by next Friday, or we're going to have it by next Thursday, no timeline is ever a solid line. Just like a support and resistance line is an area, I need you to think of your deadlines as the same. When do you want to have it? Somewhere in the area of 2024, right? But even that's a deadline, right? So 2025, January 1st, you're screwed if you're not released at that point. Keep it in mind that it's an attentive release, like you're always in that release mentality. Finally, with distribution, most people think it has to be perfect to put out. But if you think about the previous moniker that everything's always in beta, that's also in distribution as well. But letting people know that, hey, this is in beta, this is what we have done, get in there and help us test it. Participation is a very big thing to have in distribution. You got to release it to a farm that has closed participation. Your first release and everything, your first distribution of the product is to your own people. Don't put it out to the world. Distribute it inside a nice little safe area that you can get your people to say, hey man, you misspelled the word the, right? Or it's supposed to, I don't really like the purple. I think it should be blue. Everybody put their concepts and their conceptual stuff in there and what they could fix it with. But remember that don't release it out to the general public until you feel it's ready and it's passed the sniff test amongst your people. You should have a good amount of people already if you've already released a product or you're doing something. Don't just throw something in from concept to distribution without thinking about and testing that process and it goes to the general public. You should have it tested amongst your people first, and then all this stuff seems like real common sense. But in most coins don't really follow that process. So we'll put out some videos too on this as well. I think I've talked enough. Dreww, do you have anybody here who wanted to come up? Does anybody here want to come up and talk at all? Please feel free. This is an open forum concept. If you have anything to add, please come out.
Yeah, it looks like we have a Space Penguin up to speak. How's it going, guys?
Dude, totally hanging out. Glad to be here. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been, man. Stuff has been going good. I've been watching you throughout spaces and seeing you in a couple different places. Hard working, loving it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was a long journey, but the launch was definitely worth it, and we are all systems go. So, yep. I'm usually not around during the afternoon, but today I am. So I had to hop in and say what's up.
Yeah. Well, we love the space penguin. My wife's favorite animal is a penguin. So I think the last time you were on, she walked by and saw the penguin. She's like, "Is this a game? Is that a game? Is that a game? I need a game. I want a penguin game." I'm like, Jesus Christ, here we go.
Oh man, now we need to make a penguin game. Uh-oh. Yep, we're cooking now.
We can make you one. Let's go. Concept right there. Done. Conceptual party in. Producing. Boom. 8 minutes later. We'll distribute it by the end of the show. I just broke all the rules in one shot.
Anything's possible.
That's true, buddy. Loving the website. Website's really, really done nicely. Great job. Love the graphics, everything you've done.
Thank you. Our web developer is a freaking saint and a genius, so props to him. Not like the only guy running the show. I got 5-6 other people helping me out massively, so could not do it alone. So shout out to the team.
Yeah, you're never supposed to do it alone, right? Because if you were, then I think there'd be a lot more less successful products that are out there, even in this very small world. And those that always feel like they're alone, you either got to ask for help or get other people involved, or sort of dial it back some, because you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to be sitting in a closet with a spoon and a lighter somewhere and a syringe, I think, if you keep trying to push yourself too much. But if those teams that I see are really successful are the ones that have interactive devs, and we could talk about one of our shows just what does it take to have a good team in board. I think we might be doing that on Monday's show. Be a good segment to have. Now, what about you, Space Penguin? What do you got that you've conceived besides the actual like coin itself? Do you have any products and stuff that you were building in there that you had? You have your charity event. You have a merch store already. Like, how did stuff go in for you to conceive it, produce it, and distribute it? How did that go for you along that for the like even just the merch show?
I was kind of lucky. Well, I guess not lucky, but we had to wait 2 years to actually launch this. So I had like way more than enough time to like make sure that all like the math worked and like the liquidity pool was going to be weighed correctly, and how we were going to do the relaunch sale was like super crucial. Had perfect timing. So I had time to make sure that all of the pieces were in place. You never want to rush a project, that's for sure. If there's any people out there making their own project, take your time. Biggest word of advice.
Mm-hmm.
And for when it comes to like concepts and new stuff, we're cooking. We got like the long-term view where we would like to expand to, maybe payment, a layer 2 payment network. Some sort of like card. I've seen people do that multiple times. And then once we really get the ball rolling with like, once we're like working with too much charity money, once the volume's off the chain and such, I think we might have a different structure of how we pay out the charities. Might be able to get more charities appointed quicker and get them paid out quicker too. So it's cool to be at these beginning stages because the sky's the limit now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So for you, getting things conceived, produced, and distributed was more about time, making sure that you had the right process, of a lot of planning in that solution, and that's awesome. I really do always appreciate somebody who puts a lot of methodical effort into things as well.
Yeah, and we also got lucky because during our relaunch, it was in June. So like that was like the last time the market was like really bullish. It's been kind of stagnant till today. The market's pumping, obviously, but I think we had like a really good timing, like on the macro market wise. There was a lot of attention towards micro cap projects during that time. I don't think we would have been as successful if we had even launched 1 month later. I think projects launching right now, perfect timing. Gotta be being in tandem with the macro market is pretty crucial to launching too.
I think you're right. There is a point to that, but it's like that one graphic that shows like the guy who's walking away from mining diamonds, and the other guy's right before the big hit. You never know what you don't know until you know it, right? And that's the unfortunate part about it. I find that I never worry about what the market is physically doing. If we have a concept and a process, we'll find people. Establishing in a low market or even in a high market, there's just different ways that you respond to it afterwards. It's not like, I got to wait for the perfect market. My wife asked me one day when we were trying to figure out whether or not we want to have kids. They're like, we should have kids once we're ready. I was like, man, kiddo, you're never ready to have kids, let me tell you. And so we just kind of went all full bore at that process, right? But I have this statement that I make a few times where it's like, I don't care what the river's doing. I already know that I can swim. So if it bends left, it bends right, it pulls up, it gets deep, it gets shallow, I can walk. So I think I do believe that, yes, you should plan and prepare, and timing of it, that's all relative to, if you launch and it turns out that it was the perfect time, then yeah, you thought about it. And if you launched and it wasn't the perfect time, but it became because you got good patience and value, then it works. Just launch, do something, right? Be a part of it.
Dude, totally well said. And yeah, it's not like we were trying to like time the macro during launch.
Mm-hmm.
It just ever so happened to be like a little better of a time, which was just like the cherry on top. But like you said, I mean, yeah, you can launch in the middle of a bear, and if people see you grinding, that's the projects that are going to shine during times like this. So
Yeah, because I think we cut our teeth on the gravel, right? The nonsense of shit that happens to our life. I opened up a dojo in just right at the sort of apex of COVID, where everybody's like, ooh, what do you got? And one sneeze could clear a room kind of thing. and I was bringing 20 or 30 people in, and I was just, damn near torpedoes full speed ahead. Because I wanted to be able to teach, and that was the thing. If you got the passion behind what you want, anything's possible. You walk into a desert and you open up a water stand kind of thing is easy, right? Just you got a lot of people in there. But selling ice to Eskimos, that might be a whole nother story. You know what I mean? But the mentality here is just, if you got a passion, get in and just start. You conceive the passion, you build it, and you distribute it with the fervor. Just follow some simple rules, make sure you never sell the sizzle, always produce with a beta mentality. And when you finally distribute it, make sure that you test it with the people that you trust first. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is speculative, hindsight 2020 from that point.
Great points, man. And you're right. The thing is, I see a lot of people creating real things like you are and you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. And the people who are actually doing the conception, production, and then the distribution correct, these people, I don't feel rushed with the product. I feel like the real builders are calm, cool, and collective, and have fun doing it too, because we're in this because it's like a hobby turned into a career, right? So I see the real builders being cool and collective and not freaking out like a meme coin that just had a CTO yesterday,
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, I've been all sides of that project, right? So from the conception, everything was great. Then somebody went out and started selling it and be like, oh yeah, we're building this, it should be ready in 1 week. And then in 1 week they get on the show and it's like, we're going to release it today, and they release it, and it was nothing even close to what was sold. The sizzle was so high, and there was no opportunity to really recover from that. And there was a big drop in faith and mentality, and it caused a lot of stuff. But I've also been into the quiet releases, to holy fuck, you were building this the whole time kind of mentality as well. One day I was building radio stations for my network, and even some of the team didn't realize how many we were building. I disappeared. We called it Maxx Going Dark. I know Amy can kind of contribute to that line. And we were building, and a week later I came out of the hole, and we had 14 radio stations all designed and up and ready. And we're like, we're going to be releasing 14 radio stations next week, but they were already done, And so when we did release them, it was like, holy fuck, how fast are these guys are building radio stations? And it became that kind of moniker for us. We didn't talk about anything unless we had built it already, just to kind of keep that sense, to reverse sizzle it, that we always provided steak before the sizzle, which is something that's important for a lot of people. Well, Space Penguin, man, I really do appreciate you being here and hanging out. If anybody else wants to come out and talk, Dreww, do we got anybody else?
Yeah, we have I Should Study Red Up. How's it going, man?
Hey, sorry, I just need 40 more seconds.
You got it, man. We'll be right back with you then. We're waiting. We'll play some music. All right, time up. I'm only kidding. Stop it. There we go. Too many buttons on my stuff. All right, so go ahead.
Oh, Clarence hopping here earlier, but he didn't have his Hawk PFP.
I know what the fuck is going on. So Clarence, come in here. Where's that Hawk?
All right, sorry about that, guys.
Hey, no worries.
My wife is I don't know. There's people that just they have their coffee shop. They got the whole network of people at their coffee shop, right? Mm-hmm. That's my wife. She's got her coffee shop, and so one of her friends is really old, and they're cleaning out a house, and so I was just doing a drop off to thrift stores, the third drop off, using the back of my truck. I'm hitting multiple thrift stores because I can't get them all unloaded at one place.
I hear you.
But anyways, I wanted to.
You're kind of new to our spaces, right?
Go ahead.
This is the first time you're in one of our spaces.
Sort of. I mean, we've talked before. I don't remember what it was for. I think I was just curious about what you guys were doing. But I've been grinding spaces more recently. Mm-hmm. But really what I was just wondering, because I've taken a glance at your guys' service, I guess, the dashboard. And I'm curious if you've had, like, what are your thoughts on where it makes sense? Where is which type of projects is it a good fit for or application for? You know, if you kind of take a broad structure of there's pure memes, there's short-term CTOs, there's utility projects, there's large memes, blue chip memes. Where do you think your dashboard and kind of service really shines?
The answer is yes, all of them, anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds so cocky. I'm sorry. One, let's talk about the smallest one in that, right? The meme coin. Where do you build your website at? You have a website, of course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you build it at?
I wasn't the builder, so I couldn't tell you. I just know that we have a website.
It's a very nice website, by the way. Very, very nicely done. This is not any contribution against that. I mean, I see a very nice website.
Wait, are you? Oh, sorry. Are you looking at the Market Elites
Yes.
website?
Should I be looking at something else?
Oh, okay. Well, sort. I mean, really, what I'm figuring out is that I'm starting working on a CTO of sorts, and I got other people that I trust, but I need to organize them, right? I need to make sure that we don't fall into that Telegram pitfall of things are just linear in a chat and they get left behind and nothing gets executed on.
Sure. So I'll redrive that question then. So the Panther Pilot system, or our Shogun Services Network, our dashboard system, if you will, our back office system, it's designed for everybody. Blue chip, $1 million projects, small projects, we have them all in there. Why it's so important is that, one, it has a value of communication. It has basically everything you see up there. You can conceptualize it as a chat room and as a task management system, right? There's concept right out the door. You got that straight in there, right? Production, building a website, building an e-commerce, building a portal, building a communication network, automation, opportunity settings, pipelines, emails, phone numbers, SMS texts, just about everything, right? I got 30-something businesses in there that are local to me here in Northeast Pennsylvania. So it's from that process as well. And then finally, it's got a very low barrier of entry financially. It's free, right? So who's it for? Well, it's for those that want to save money on process. It's for those that want to build out at a larger level. But why do we do that? Well, because then we have a chance to talk to you about our other services. Oh, wait, but they're all free too. So where do we really make money? We make money in the participational process. When you transact with it, like when you use our buy bot through your community, or once you're in our volume bot, if you're using our volume bot, we make it in transactions. And I know that's not how everybody does it, but that's how we do it, so we can keep everything for free for everybody. The next part is, like, who else would it be used for any of our stuff? Is the future aspect of what we're building. You know, one thing we do have in the foundation is our Shogun Dex network, which is a community center system that gives you a place to watch the charts, talk to your community, build out relationship, have a volume bot, have a trade bot system or trading system in there, and have a raid system in there, all in one spot. And it's like if you took Telegram and Dex Screener and a few other main things and just pushed them all together and made one spot for them to go on and made it 100% free. That's what we're building. That's what we've already started to build. So when you ask who's it for, you try to find, basically it'd probably be easier to tell you who it's not for, right? And it's for those people that don't want to make money.
Do you mind if I chime in on that just a little bit, Max, on
Sure.
that same question there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So having worked with these guys now and becoming familiar with them from the other side where I was using their services, I was, we were a small cap CTO. I'm the leader of Lumi CTO, and I was trying to get my website up and running. And I essentially got partnered with them to Panther Pilot through this very space, actually. And I just loved their vibe. I loved how supportive they were about all of that. But in general, I was just very lost. I was like, oh man, how am I going to get this going? And so Panther Pilot was a godsend for me as far as just the website, but the actual suite of tools that are available there blew my mind. And I was like, holy shit, holy shit. And honestly, I was a little bit over my head with that, but they, the support that's there, I'm obviously, very knowledgeable about that stuff now too. So you can reach out, and they were just so willing to help with free.
I think you fell into the pool.
Here we go. All right, am I good?
Yeah, you're good, man.
He's dried off.
Yeah,
He's dried off.
He's drying off now. He's back in.
I'm dried off. All thanks
Good
to
thing you had
Shogun.
a
All
knife.
thanks to Shogun. I'm dried off. That's right. Okay, so I would say that from that perspective, Panther Pilot was incredibly useful to me, not just for getting the website up and running, but having that automated post system available for our social medias and stuff. Because I was honestly like, I don't know if you've seen those like acts where the guy's like spinning the plates on the sticks, right? And he's keeping them all going. That was me doing everything essentially for it. So having that automated system was really very helpful too, so that I could be posting simultaneously on different social medias and stuff. And again, that being free blew my mind. It blew my mind. And actually, I thought that these guys were just doing me a super huge solid to let me have it for free. No, it's just free to people who are using the Shogun suite. But I would say as well, going ahead and integrating the buy bot into your community, no matter the size of it, is very valuable, because you can go ahead and familiarize your community with that process, that buy bot, and get them kind of used to using that. But obviously, the benefit of that buy bot is going to be tremendously increased as your community grows. But if you have long-term ambitions, then you want that community to grow, that engagement to grow. And so the buy bot itself, it's useful right off the bat. You do get 20% of that 1% transaction fee directly deposited right into your wallet if you use the
real
referral
quick,
link.
just to make sure we're on the same term as far as terms. You're referring to a buy bot where you actually make a purchase, not a informational buy bot.
Correct.
Showing that there was a buy.
Right. It's a swap feature directly tied into Telegram. So yeah, that is a distinction that we need to be making a little more clearly, because it's not like whenever they first reached out to me about the buy bot, I was actually like, what? I don't know anything about bots, trading bots.
It's not a volume bot.
I feel like buy bot. I think you guys better fit the term, but the industry standard understanding of it is, the safeguard buy bot, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, this is a swap feature that's directly integrated into your Telegram. And then again, that has a 1% flat transaction fee. 20% of that fee, if you use the referral link, goes right into your wallet on that same bot, which is very easily exported out. But the rating bot, which is technically in beta right now, but it's going to be released in full, as soon as we can get it up and running. That, I think, is going to be fundamental to especially lower level CTOs right as they're getting up and running, because that's actually going to have a passive income stream for you as well. And basically every CTO is going to be using a rating bot anyway. So I think all of the features that are available for us, as Max said, they're very useful for any project at any level, but they sort of scale up as well.
How would a raid bot generate fees, unless you're referring to advertisements, I guess?
Yeah, that's basically it. It doesn't
Okay.
have a lot of fees to be able to do with. It pays out in Sol, so the community who's ever paying out can pay in Sol. Right now, we're just using it as an experiment to see whether or not that has something that is, But again,
so it basically would be a competitor for Kitsune or Bank of America.
Yeah, in a way, Bank doesn't pay out in
Sol.
native Sol. It pays out in native coin, and they have to. They have a great system over there, and I know them all personally. We've always had this process with Shogun being able to put it out. Ours is completely different in the mentality. They can do YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Our value for what we have isn't about trying to find competitiveness in other systems out there, but it is more about what we have in our value of who we are. So we wanted to have something because it was in one house. Somebody already trusts us. They already know us. And if somebody wanted to use it, go ahead. There's just a lot of stuff that's already out there. And I never look at competition. We do have, competition everywhere you go, but in our side, what we have competition in is ourselves, between the different things that we have. So if there's a similarity between stuff, like our trade system, our trading bot is like a Bank bonkbot kind of mentality. But why, they're 1%, we're 1%. And when we were building this, one of the devs goes, hey, you need to come down. You need to be like half or, quarter of what they do so you can get those people. And I said, no, not really. I don't believe in chasing to the bottom. I believe in providing more value. And so, Bonk has its own value and we have our own value in a different way because we have all these other things that we've involved, like the systems for free for Panther Pilot and our Shogun services, all of our other stuff will be free as well. So I think that's where we sort of set the difference of value.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. You don't have to take out everybody else. Your value proposition is ours works just as good, and it works in tandem with all these other services.
Mm-hmm. That's basically it. Dude, I love the questions, man. I appreciate if you have once you said you're going to be taking on a CTO of sorts, and once you do, I want you to come back here and chill, man. You're very respectful, and I really do appreciate you being here. I think I remember your voice from talking or something. I can't remember what it was we were talking about before, though.
I've seen
Yeah.
you in the Rooster Spaces quite a few times too,
Yeah,
so I've definitely seen you around.
Yeah. So, and I might have talked about something that was a short-term thing because I didn't know the dev, and it ended up not working out.
Yeah, no worries.
Rather poorly.
We don't have to talk
But,
about the shit we've stepped in before.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm working on now, though, I kind of like took a step back. I was like, okay, I need to if I'm going to put effort into something, I'm going to go talk on Spaces. I need to have a certain level of faith in what I'm talking about.
I personally
and
think that like CTOs
yeah.
nowadays, and again, this is nobody who is not against anybody who has CTO. There's quite a few of them here. You need to be in fucking control. Like when I first started talking, like I was part of the Latte CTO, and I told them right from the beginning, you have to take control of everything. You have to be aware. You have to have communication. You need to have a portal. You need to have all these things. You need to kind of clean out. You need to be transparent. You got to get wallets. You have to be in control of it. The whole world of the meme coin mentality. Yeah, do you want it to be a meme coin? Then don't worry about anything. Just let it go and it's going to have it. It's like, how many tsetse flies do you ever worry about or fruit flies do you worry about unless they're bugging you in the face? So if you want something to be production worth that it's going to go out there and it's going to make you money, then you got to get serious. You got to start adding these other systems and programs in to make money because that's what's going to retain the wealth. The wealth's not going to be retained for like, oh, we put out a new meme today. Everybody go buy in now. It's like, that doesn't work no more. Everybody's been culture shocked. They know what memes are. They know when they see a butt with a cigarette butt in it. That's something funny.
Yeah.
And everybody buys in. It's sitting at 1 million. You're like, but what value do I have in it? It's eventually going to come down. Now, if it does keep going and we're all trading cigarette butt coins, then I'm okay with that as well,
Yeah, no, it's funny because I was of the opinion that every project should have some sort of revenue source utility if they want to be sustainable. I kind of have come around to recognize that a small percentage of meme coins can and will operate purely as a meme coin, as much as I don't understand it. And it'll be very few, but and some sort of revenue, I think, is probably necessary. But there's just going to be those few projects that kind of stand out as they just keep chugging along, and you're like, no way. You're just waiting for it to drop and disappear, and it just keeps going, and you're like, where is this coming from? I don't understand. Logically, it just doesn't make sense.
I've seen coins that those larger channels of 150. So the ones that really surprise me are the ones that vibrate between 500,000 and a million market cap, and they keep rejecting each other, and these things happen, and they go for months at that level, back and forth, back and forth. There's farming going on, there's sustainability, there's generational wealth, but there's not too much because then you put too much FOMO and everybody pops out or what have you. And where I see the common thread there is that they either have a value under production, like they're producing people, right? They get new holders in, they put more money in, and then they get something from something, and then the guys, they farm off that entire thing, right? You're farming the people, or they're farming a structure of what people are getting from it, the memeability network or what have you, or being a part of events, poker events and gambling stuff and all that stuff. But it really is just the three things that we have in the topic today of conception, production, and distribution. That's all you're doing is step and repeat, step and repeat, step and repeat. And so for us, it's the conception was easy. Build things that always fit into this narrative. It helps the community. So everything we build from this point follows that conception. You know, production. Make sure it's safe and solid and built in beta. Yes. And then distribute it and sell it, or sell it into the process of testing first with the people that are here. And if it can't pass that, then it doesn't go out. And that's what we have to do. And we did that with our raid bot here. We put it into our internal production, and it went, nope, the person's not here. What do we do now? Even though it's made and it's there, I could literally put it out, but it's not going to pass the long-term value of distribution, you know, because somebody's going to break it, and then who's going to fix it? So I think you have a great understanding. Where there's a few other here, Space Penguin, Ransom, you do as well. You know, some of you that I see in here from Vote Doge, you understand those things as well, and definitely Rip and Amy do that are in there because they both you know have watched these programs up and down on both sides of that and how they fail at that point.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to come back on different spaces and kind of share what I'm working on.
I can't wait to see it because I know it's going to be fun. And if you're putting this much thought into it and you're around about, make sure that when you come back, let us know and we'll get you, you know, get over to Panther Pilot, sign up when you're ready, get all that stuff in there for free. You know, there's nothing to lose at it. What you can gain from it is a lot. You know, the only thing you can lose in it is time. You know, if you participated in something, if you go in there and you can't find something that works for you, you're in the wrong industry. You're opening up a porn
Yeah.
shop in Talladega or something. I don't know, man, but you know, because there's so much in there. If you're opening up any type of coin, any type of community network, and you can't find something back there that works for you, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Then you're in the wrong business.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, my man. All right, Drew. You got anybody else? Thanks a lot for coming out today, buddy. I really appreciate you. Does anybody else want to come out and say anything or talk about it? We've just hit an hour and 10 minutes. You know, perfect hour in this point. If anybody else has anything, or Drew, do you got anything you want to come out and rip out with?
Yeah. Well, first thing is like hats off to all the projects and speakers that came out to speak. We love talking to all you guys, and also all the people from our Shogun group who came out. We got a bunch of people down there. Ransom. We got Fire Graham, who just beat me in poker a few days ago. We got Rip and Tear. We got Amy. We had Clarence in here earlier, and some other people from our team as well. So it's just what we're building here. I feel like we built a really strong foundation of like great solid devs and people who are in our Shogun system as well, who are either buying into our token or just in our voice chats, just being active and showing love all the time. And that's what we're here to do, is build a system that's completely organic, that can help the space as a whole, and not only add value with the bots and service systems that we have, but also add value in, if a project needs help with something, like we can find the person to help you. Or like, for example, we had a project called Sassy that we're partnered with. Their artist left them, so they're in our Shogun group, and it took them like 30 minutes to find a new artist from some other project. I think it was Super S.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're creating in our TG group is a room full of devs from these projects that are just helping each other out, and at the same time, Shogun is there, trying to make all these things happen for these people.
Yeah, eventually, the Shogun mentality is already in the paper, is already in the white paper to have our services systems for like the websites and the designs and programs like Panther Pilot is the W2 side of it. But then there's also the artistic channels that we're going to have in that network, where we know the illustrators, we know the programmers, we have those people down already. You know, so when these groups are wanting to build new things and new developments, we have that process already for them, you know, to help build out those networks. Because when people partner with us, we invest in who they are. We invest in the coin, and that's just a smart way to invest in the process. And those that have invested in us, in our top 20 and our top, well, of course, our top 5 is strong, but our top 20 and our top 100 will receive rev shares from all those buy-ins that we have as well for all these coins that we're on. So it's amazing to be a part of, and everything that Dreww just said has been something that's been in our concept the entire time to build this out in the Shogun mentality. All right, Drew. If nobody else is coming out, want to come out and say anything?
Real quick, Trader. Are you able to say who your top 5 projects are you work with?
It's not the top 5 projects. We're in 20. We're in 20 projects right now. These are the top 5 is the top 5 Shogun in our network, which is myself, Dreww, Rip, Amy, and another person, Martin, in that point. And then we have a top 20 people that are in our network that are they receive rev share for what we're doing as well. So they have stuff in it, but we're in.
Yeah, I meant the projects that are generating you the revenue.
Well, that's not what I refer to as the top, as far as what revenue they're joining. But we're partnered with 20 other projects right now, like Memezilla, Pojack, a few other bigger ones out there. We were partnered with Lumi, a few other ones that are out there. Vote Doge, which is in the market today. So some pretty big networks out there that are already established in the process, but they've just started with us. So I don't look at the return rates of what anybody's bringing us right now. This is a long-term gig for us as well.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, it's still early stages speculation.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious because I was gonna go take a look at the buy bot or swap bot or whatever.
Yeah, it's a trading bot. We just call it that. So we put it up there as a sniper bot just to kind of give it a reference, but it's simplicity in there. But how much people are making is still relative to what they're putting in because they're just starting out. We're building relationship under that fact. So
yeah, stop by at shoguncrypto.com and it has our bot there. You can just click on the sniper bot tab and then get it started.
all right. Well, let me go into as a final here, and then we'll get out of everybody's hair. Our pink sale for our coin. Our coin it was made for our internal top 5 and top 20 people to kind of get a feel for what we're building in. We were offering this for the general public. When you buy through pink sale, there's no way that anybody else can snipe in before you. That's the safe reason. We've doxed ourselves. I've doxed myself. Drew's doxed himself. There's a handful of other people in our network that are doxed as well. But we don't buy all the services that are on pink sale because they're too fucking expensive. If we were to, it would have been like $3,300 to buy all the buttons and bells and whistles on it, which would have been crazy. But we wanted to give people an extra level of security in the process. If you buy into the project and it doesn't go to market, and that might be something that may happen, because we have a soft cap of 150 and we're sitting like 57 or whatever it is right now. But we'll be changing that today. We have some other people and myself going in for more on the process and other networkers that'll be in there. But if it doesn't meet the market cap or it doesn't meet the thing, you just get your money back. It's automatic. Like when it's up on Monday afternoon. If it didn't hit the soft cap, it just gets returned to you. No harm, no foul. If it does go through, you're going to make a lot of money in the process. Either way, and because we hold a lot of the coin, it's there. Also, 50% of what you buy, 51% of what you buy in with actually goes to our liquidity wallet in the process. So there's a tremendous amount of money that goes into that boosts the coin and keeps it there. And then secondly, the other 49% goes into the marketing wallet to build out all the systems and products that's there. You also, in the pink sale, when you're getting on, you'll get a founder's marker put to you once you register that you've bought and how many you've held. We register that out as a percentage of your buy-in, and there's things that you're going to be getting as a founder in that solution. So these are things that if we don't make it, our exit plan is simple. We are going to relaunch the next day. We already have a group of people that we have a certain amount of like 60, 70 SOL that we're going to release. We're going to release at that market. We ain't going to tell anybody exactly when, but we're just going to release it, and then we're going to go straight on the DEX and go from that position. But you don't want to miss out. If we can hit this 150 over the next 3 days, then there's going to be founders positions. If not, then we have to switch gears and get the coin released in some way or fashion, and then we have our own internal deals with that process. All right. I really do appreciate everybody being here. Dreww, thanks a lot. We put this show, we didn't really have a lot of people come today. That's okay because we have a tremendous amount of shit happening. Keep an eye out for all of us. I'm going to roll the outro as I say goodbye to all of you, but we'll probably cut it a little short because you don't need to sit and listen to a big thing for me for all this stuff. But thanks, Dreww.
Yeah, man, I had fun throughout the space. Heard some great speakers as well, and this is a system that's just we're at the start. You know, we've been talking in spaces for about a month. We've talked to probably a few hundred projects by now and gotten involved in about 20 or 30 of them. And this is something that once it hits the market as a coin, and once it gets into those higher channels, and we have the views from like Deck Screener, Dex Tools, marketing, all these other things, this is going to be a system where projects run to it, because why would you not run to a system that's completely free that adds value to you? So that's something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm glad to be a part of the Shogun team.
Yeah, absolutely. You are Shogun, dude. I mean, it's not even just even a team anymore. You exude the the lifestyle and who we are. The hard work that you put, the integrity, the value. That's really important. There's 5 of us in that top line that are just beyond reproach. You know, and you don't find that a lot, right? You get all these devs that are all over the place and they disappear and they don't come back and they fade out. You know, there's no chance for any one of us to do that. We always have our back. We always have this process. And our top 20 is probably just as strong, if not stronger than us at sometimes, because they can fill in where we can't at that point. So I appreciate everything you've done, buddy.
Likewise, Max.
Here we go. All right, everybody, that was The Mad Show with Dreww and Max here on Friday, September 27, 2024. Make sure that you check out our pre-sale that's up on the Jumbotron or over at ShogunCrypto.com, a little pink sale button right up there. And make sure you get over there and have a look at what we built and what we're building out. Anybody who gets in before Monday, I think it's like 1 p.m., will get a founder's moniker along with a letter from us and letting you know what we're doing. You'll get material, insider training information about a lot of stuff that's happening. And we appreciate everybody that's going to be there today. I think that's really all I got. In fact, I'm going to stop the intro music just for a second to tell you, like, I know these small shows ain't the big exposure that a lot of people have in this process, but if you even just meet one good relationship out of one of these smaller ones, then you got something good. All right. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you next time. And we have this statement: the best revenge is living well. So go out there and live well. We'll see you next time.